All right, EV fans. The tax credit is ending, as you just saw there, September 30th. Today's August 3rd, 2025. And the tax credit is limited by two things. Your income at a certain point is just not an option. And the other one is the vehicle price. And that changes a bit when you lease. Now, I leased my 2024 Model Y Performance in April of 2024 for 2 years. I purposely did 2 years, and my idea was that all the new trim levels, the updates, whatever, would be out by April of 2026. And right now, today, the only one missing is the Juniper Performance model. So the updated Model Y Performance is the only trim level that's currently missing. All the other trims have been updated, and so my idea was I would have the option to jump into one of those without having to wait another year. And so the timing on my lease was fortuitous. I could call it brilliant, but really it's fortuitous. And I'm able to jump into any one of the new trim levels that where it has build history behind it. So there's no, the factory's working through production level building, misaligned panels, etc. Stuff like that. All that's been ironed out. Now, I leased. It was a smart move over buying. And I leased because when I gave it back, the value of the vehicle would be completely irrelevant. I just let it go. I don't have to try and sell it. I don't take a loss. Nothing like that. And I made only two mistakes. And the first one is, you can pick any vehicle to go through this. And the first one I did was, let's go ahead and go through the numbers here. I'm going to edit and just pick a trim level, pick a vehicle, pick a trim level. I edit the leasing. My first mistake was putting a down payment. I should have kept my money, kept it in the market and or a high yield savings account, whatever. I should have just kept it. But you do have to put a number here. So I went ahead and put 0. And now we have our payment. And what we're going to compare is 20,000 miles a term versus 30,000 miles a term. Now, you can see that here the difference was $66 per month. So 66 times 12 times 2, $1,584. Now, if 20,000 versus 30, at 25 cents a mile over on my current lease agreement, that is $2,500. And so if I had gone with the 15,000 miles, and I think the numbers were similar at the time, I would have saved myself more than a lease payment. Does that make sense? You kind of like get a free month. But a bigger benefit here is that you no longer worry about going over the miles, because the difference between 20,000 and 30,000, it's like having a 3-year, 10,000 mile lease in 2 years. You get like a year free, so to speak. Now, of course, it's not free, but it's a lot cheaper than 25 cents a mile. And this kind of like works out for all the vehicles. Now, 10,000, 832, 12,000, 876. And so the value between 2,000 and 5,000 miles a year, the value just not there for the 12,000 mile term. So forget that. In my opinion, forget it. Just go choose between 10 and 15. And so it tightens up a little bit when you do a 3-year lease. So you've got $793. You've got, what is that, $27 versus what was it? $54. Okay, and so it doubles in that case. The monthly increase doubles, but you're getting an extra 1,000 miles. So it's not 14,000 for double; it's 15,000. I hope you kept up with that. Now, what some people do is the vehicle price, their income qualifies, but the vehicle price does not. Okay, so what they do is they get the $7,500 credit anyway. And how do they do that? They lease the vehicle and they get the $7,500 off, because you can, let's just do the Plaid because it's cooler. All right, so new leases include, so even though the Plaid is 100 grand and I believe the cutoff is 80,000, you still getting, on the lease you get the $7,500. And so what people do is they lease and then they buy out the vehicle, because now, when I signed up, this was not an option, buying out the vehicle. Now, about 4 months ago now, I did get a letter from US Bank. Hey, if you want to buy your car, it's only $36,000. Forget that. So if I'm gonna do a purchase, I'm gonna lease it. I'm gonna get the $7,500 off, and then I'm gonna buy it out. Now, all of this has to happen before September 30th of 2025. So some people do that. There's like some kind of penalty, 1,000, maybe $1,500. So $6,000. You're getting $6,000 off by initiating your possession with a lease and then doing the buyout. So you can see for cash, you don't get nothing. For finance, you don't get nothing. But for the lease, you get it. I don't know what the distinction there is, but you get it. The credit. And again, before September 30th. So this configurator it'll give you the same basis on all the models, all the trims. You'll get to see the difference. So 10,000 miles for 3 years and versus 15,000 miles. $50. That's $600 a year for 3 years, $1,800 to go from a 30,000 mile lease to a 45,000 mile lease. So again, I could say I was brilliant in leasing, and I suppose I did use some brain power, and my timing worked out as well, and I did 2 years instead of 3. So it's working out. But if you lease, I recommend, it's worth doing the 3 years now that all the trim models are out, and doing the 15,000 miles. In my opinion, that's my plan. I will not have the $7,500 option when I go ahead and do the turn-in on my lease to get another Tesla, and Tesla is definitely on my radar, either a used Model S Plaid or just a new Model 3 Performance or Model Y Performance. We'll see what the Juno Performance is like. So go ahead, check it out, edit the leasing, forget the savings crap that they have here, put a 0 down payment, and then start playing around with the terms and the miles and see what works for you. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Now I'll talk to you later.